He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the game, in my opinion. If it wasn't for Steph Curry, he'd be the greatest Warrior still in the history of the game. Rick Barry joins me next on Locked On Warriors.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On Warriors your first listen every day. We're free and available on all platforms. And today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Check out prizepicks.com and use promo code NBA or go to your app store and download the app today. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. You can follow my guest on Twitter and pretty much every social media platform at Rick24Barry. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. Rick, how are you doing, sir, in Florida?
Well, it's wonderful down here in Florida, but I have to correct you a little bit because let's not forget about Wilt Chamberlain, who was a Warrior. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest center to ever play the game. The guy has done things that will never, ever, 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 ever be duplicated. So let's give a little shout out to who I got to know after I retired. Just a great guy, and I'm sorry that he's not really enjoyed getting a chance to hang out with him a little bit after I had retired. So kudos to him, and.
Yeah.
Let everybody know I'm looking forward. I'm actually going to be out there on the 21st of this month because they're going to honor Rick Welch, the former president of the Warriors, who was a friend of mine back in the days when I was up doing broadcasting work for the Seattle Supersonics and living up there in Mercer Island. Got to know Rick when he was working there, and he left and obviously journeyed over to the NBA and was really helpful for them in their marketing. Was a big factor working with David Stern, and then with the success he had there, he wound up going down doing a great job with the Phoenix Suns, and then of course came to the Warriors and had tremendous success there as well. So I'm excited that they're going to honor someone who deserves to get those the type of kudos that he's going to get, and they'll have a medallion placed with him outside the building. So looking forward to that on the 21st.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll definitely come join you at Chase Center. I've told you when you actually come down here, I will join you. Maybe we can record an episode of the Rick Barry Show. That's your podcast that you host. Going back to Wilt Chamberlain, by the way. And first of all, the only reason why I don't put him in the same class as you and Steph right now is just because he played for different teams. He won his championship with a different team. I know you played against him. I have no disrespect toward Wilt, and I do think he's underrated in terms of the all-time rankings, and all this stuff is super subjective, but that's the only reason why I don't put him in the same class as you and Steph is because you two people identify and personify you as Warriors. I don't know if they do that with Wilt. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. He was a Warrior, but he was a Warrior
in
Philadelphia before they came out here, and then he was out here, and he wasn't out here for a long time. I'm just giving kudos because the Warriors were back in 1946. Wilt was an integral part of the Warriors franchise for many, many years, even though he didn't have a championship with them, and he got the championship when he went to Philadelphia, and then, of course, with the Lakers. But, I mean, the guy was unbelievable. I mean, I just when people start throwing out statistics, I mean, 50 points a game. Come on, Cyrus. That's the most absurd. I don't even know what you can equate that to in any other sport. Seriously.
No, I'm with you.
It's just so far beyond comprehension that one human being playing for the game of basketball can average 50 points a game for an entire season. That's just nuts. And then 22.5 rebounds a game for his career. I mean, hell, I was thrilled to death because I had 25 rebounds in one game.
Well, let me ask you.
Happened to be against the 76ers, which I'm very proud of. But my God, the stuff that this guy did was just it was insane, absolutely insane. So anyway, let's get off of that.
But I mean, look, as a student of the game, as a student of life, I always love to listen and take a step back when people have actually seen and witnessed an individual like Wilt. I'd love your perspective over someone who hasn't, right? Who relies strictly on stats or YouTube videos. So and you've told me repeatedly how dominant of a player Wilt was. You mentioned the 50 points a game. Was the fact that he was so good that he got bored one year that he decided to lead the league in assists? Is that more impressive to you?
Well, but that was when he was with the Lakers, had Jerry West and all the other guys could do all the stuff. And so he was willing to do whatever he could do.
Right.
I mean, but that's another one. Throw that out there. What center has ever led the freaking league? I mean, seriously. I mean, just think of the stuff that this guy did during the course of his career. I mean, God knows what he would have had if they had blocked shots.
And well, who knows what would have looked like if they had a 3-point line when he played, right? I mean, maybe
No,
you would have
no,
been
well, he would have probably worked on trying to go ahead and shoot those.
maybe
The only
we
thing is, it's so crazy, and I did that podcast with Malcolm Gladwell talking about, well, why in the world did he switch from going underhanded when he shot, and he used that in the season when he shot 50 points, average 50 points a game, and it was the free throws that helped him do it, because in the game when he scored 100, he was 28 for 32.
is it just image? Is that what it comes down to? People just don't like the way it looks.
I guess that's why other people are reluctant to do it, is ego and stuff. But what the hell difference does it make how you look? This isn't a competition. This is not a beauty contest. Okay?
I'm with you.
You don't get points. You don't get extra credit for looking good.
I agree with you, but
it's the only true statistic in the game of basketball where you can be selfish and help your team.
We all know Wilt was particularly interested in his own image. His sexual proclivities, I think, are testament to that. I saw this picture recently of Wilt with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion. Were you ever involved in what I'm guessing is Earth's version of heaven? Were you ever involved in those?
I was there at times, but not to the point where I was there and indulging in the activities that perhaps had taken place in some of the rooms by the pool and the little grotto and all the other stuff.
Yes. Oh.
No, I never partook in that, but I was there. I did get to see it. I got to meet you there. Played in some tennis exhibitions on their tennis court that they have there. That was fun. It was an interesting lifestyle that Hugh Hefner led. That's for sure.
I think, and if you've led an interesting life, I think just seeing it is enough. I don't know if you have to actually participate, but that's me.
To see it. I mean, it's kind of like, hey, you go to the Indy 500. I got to be in the boxes, looking over the pits and watching that incredible experience. Kentucky Derby, Super Bowl stuff. A lot of those unbelievable sporting events, to be there in person and to see it. But of course, the best of all, I got to play in the finals of the NBA
and win.
Yeah, that was even better, and especially in the way that we did it. So I just happened to see something yesterday. I was going through stuff. Rick Camwell was doing stuff with the NBA has a thing called the Vault or some stuff, and they had Pete Vesey and what the hell? Who else is up? The Mad Dog Carter was on there talking about our championship year. I'm actually in the process of working really hardly. I'm talking to some people. I'm trying the best that I can to try to finally get a documentary done about our championship year. It's unbelievable to me, with all the stuff I see out there and the documentaries that are done about players and teams and whatever, to not have a documentary having been done about our team in 1974-75 without question. I mean, even Cantwell got it wrong. Rick Barry said it's the greatest thing in sports history. No, I said it's the greatest upset in the history of the three major sports in our country for the finals, without question. There's no way that anybody could ever come up with something to compare to it. And we were slighted. We didn't get on the cover of Sports Illustrated. We didn't get invited to the White House. I mean, nobody made a big deal about it. It was pathetic. And I feel that my teammates have been shortchanged. I mean, I got the MVP of the championship, but I wouldn't have been the MVP if it wasn't for my teammates, because we wouldn't have been in the finals if it wasn't for my teammates when I sucked in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. I mean, that's what it's about. It's about a team achieving a success. The story was an incredible story, trading off a Hall of Fame center and Nate Thurman, and wind up having to play them in the championship of the Western Conference. And Clifford Ray coming over in the role that he played, and Butch Beard and Charles Dudley and CJ and Derek Dickey and Phil Smith and all of the other guys on the team, and Bill Bridges. There's an unbelievable story there that has never been told. And I'd love it to get told now. I mean, Al's having some difficulties, health-wise, and he's hanging in there well. But it'd be nice to get it done before we lose some more guys, because we already lost a bunch of our guys from that team. And I'm hoping I could find some way to be able to. I got somebody expressing some interest in it, but I think it's a disservice to our world of sports to not have had one for that, with so many other stuff that doesn't even come close to comparing to it.
I agree, and I don't disagree with anything you said. I think to me, of the four major professional sports, the 1975 Golden State Warriors championship win, and to me, it wasn't just beating the Bullets; it was sweeping them in the dominant fashion when you're such an underdog. And it's a travesty that there's no documentary made about that. So whoever's listening or watching, whether it's a 30 on 30, NBA TV, there needs to be a platform for this. I'm stoked you're working on it. We'll talk a lot more about your background, those Warriors teams, the current Warriors, and more after we pay some bills real quick. And Rick, you can either shut your mic off or join in, whatever you want to do while I pay these bills. First off, I want to talk about PrizePicks, which is a unique way for individuals who love to increase the stakes in terms of betting. PrizePicks basically just lays down a lot of interesting things to bet on, especially like over unders for total points for players. Obviously, you've been hearing Locked On hosts talk about PrizePicks for months. Have you signed up yet? PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. If you haven't checked it out yet, you're missing out. I'm telling you, you're going to love this app for NBA and mixed spots pick'ems, where and essentially with everything that you're betting on, you're picking one side or another. It's relatively simplistic. PrizePicks has the best NBA DFS prop game on the market. PrizePicks offers more NBA props than any other DFS daily fantasy sports prop operator, and offers all the superstar players as well as bench players, only recording a handful of minutes each game. So Warriors fans, I mean, go on there, make some interesting bets, have fun with it. Go to prizepicks.com today and use promo code NBA, or go to your app store and download the app. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. Today's episode is also brought to you by Shopify.
Let me get a little thing. Let me get a little thing in there about that first.
Yeah.
Okay,
Please.
Okay, here's the deal. You can have a lot of fun with it. It's really cool. I wish you all the luck in the world, because I think it's the hardest thing in the world to figure out what the hell's going to happen in an NBA game. But with that said, the one thing, don't bet money that you can't afford to lose.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Good advice. That is sound advice. I could not agree with you more. And with that said, go still have some fun at PrizePicks, but do so responsibly, as Hall of Famer Rick Barry just said. This show is also brought to you by Shopify. If you hear a cha-ching sound, it's the sound of another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big business, so upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. And believe me, this podcast, Locked On Warriors, we just got some new hosts right here. In our case, our audience was much smaller. We're growing the business. Rick Barry has the Rick Barry Show, his fantastic podcast I'm a part of. I really think we could be selling him some amazing t-shirts and other apparel on there to make some real money. And you could do that with Shopify. Shopify powers millions of businesses from first scale to full scale. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba. That's all lowercase. Again, shopify.com/lockedonnba for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba right now. Again, shopify.com/lockedonnba.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On Warriors your first listen. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Now podcast, nightly recaps of every NBA game with analysis from our local experts. I go on there occasionally. Listen to Locked On Now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or watch it on the Locked On NBA YouTube channel. We're joined by NBA Hall of Famer, a member of the NBA 75 team, Rick Barry. You can follow him on all social media platforms at Rick24Barry. I would love your perspective on this, Rick. I love perspectives from amazing, legendary Hall of Fame players when it comes to other great players, but I don't know if you or anyone else has Klay Thompson's perspective, which is these back-to-back horrific injuries. He's missed over 900 days, 2.5 years. What do you think's going through his mind, and what should Warriors fans expect when Klay potentially makes his debut this Sunday against Cavaliers?
Well, only he can answer that, and everybody is different. That's the beauty of life, is that
Yeah.
it got to be boring, wouldn't it, if everybody was the same? Um, so with Clay, the closest I came is I had back-to-back knee injuries back when they didn't have arthroscopic surgery. And I can tell you it's a very difficult thing to go and deal with because you don't know if you're ever going to be able to play again and play at the level that you played at. And that was after I had the first knee surgery. I came back, was playing, and I had another one. And that was really difficult. I mean, I had to go back in again, had to go through the rehab again. Now, I wasn't out 2 years. It's just,
Hmm.
I mean, it's a lot more than being missing parts of 2 seasons and not being out for 2 full seasons. So I can't even imagine what he's going through there mentally. But if anybody can overcome this,
Hmm.
it would be Klay Thompson, because I think he is a committed individual to the game of basketball. I think he loves the game. He's put the time and the effort and the work into it. I'm praying that everything goes well and he doesn't get any other type of major injury and he can finish out his career injury free.
Right.
But the reason I think he has a chance of being an integral part of the success of the Warriors is because those type of injuries could certainly cause you to lose a half a step, and a half a step in basketball is usually a freaking disaster.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, half a step is a big deal. That's a freaking big deal. But I think where it will impact him most would be on the defensive end, his individual defense. But you don't win championships with individual defense. His individual defense performance in the past was outstanding, but
Hmm.
it's team defense. This
Right.
is why I watched the Warriors the other day. Well, not the game against Dallas, but I watched the other game when they played at home. And I'm telling you, their rotations and their help and their movement on defense is really fun to watch. If you know the game, man, I was so proud of them for the way the coaching staff has got them playing that kind of help defense, the
Right.
rotation. So nobody's getting a simple, easy shot. They're getting their hands on balls. They're getting turnovers. And man, that's fun to watch. And Clay is smart enough and a good enough player to be a part of that because he was before. And his individual defense may suffer, but who cares? Because
Yeah.
individual defense, I said, doesn't win it. And a greatest individual defensive player is going to get his ass whipped many times by a great offensive player. I played against a lot of great defensive players and went by him without any problem. Okay. Now I had to work a little bit harder, but they're not going to stop me. Okay. I got too
Right.
many ways to beat them. They're on the defensive. Let's face it. Okay. So that's the part that I'm saying that, well, it'll be okay, but he's not going to be the same individual defensive wise. And the beauty of it is for him, it's not going to hurt his offense.
Right.
He's not the explosive guy blowing by you. This is a guy in this system that they play will flourish because they pass, they move, they cut, they get and create opportunities for their teammates. The man scored 37 points on what, 9 dribbles or some stupid thing? I mean, he doesn't need to be quick and go by people. That's not his game. And just imagine how good his shot must be now with all
Oh,
the time he's had to even perfect it more than what it was before. I mean, just think of how many shots he's gotten up since he's been able to go back out on the court and practice. I mean, literally hundreds of thousands of shots and he's been great before this. I can't even imagine how good it's liable to be. So I'm very
right.
excited about it. Really looking forward to seeing how he does and how they bring him along.
He's such a popular player, Rick. There's been a lot of videos of him on boats. Do you own a boat? Are you a boat connoisseur?
Never would want to own a boat. I love to fish. I don't mind going in a boat to go fishing. I don't really particularly like going out in salt water in the big deep sea. I've done it before, but I'm more of a freshwater fisherman. I love to get out and have my waders on and get in and wade and be fishing and then move and go someplace else. And then fish from the boat as well is good too, but not in the waves and stuff. I got seasick one time. I never want to get seasick again. It's horrendous.
Yes, it is
It's
horrendous. No, it's a miserable experience. No, you're absolutely right. And
horrible.
anyways, when we come back, I want to give kudos to one of your 5 professional basketball playing sons. It's his birthday today. And we're going to preview what's to come for the Warriors and maybe talk about their struggles and how they can overcome that. First, Rick, have you ever had a Built Bar? That's one of the official sponsors of Locked On Warriors. They're tasty snacks. I still haven't had one yet. Everyone I talk to loves these things. And it is the new year, so that means New Year's resolutions. If yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure you include Built Bar in your plan. It's the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar, maybe even better than a candy bar. Built Bar makes it easy to stick to your resolution because it tastes so freaking good. You'll want to eat it, unlike other protein bars, which can be chalky or waxy or taste like a chemical spill. Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. They only have 130 calories compared to a candy bar, which usually has 240 calories. Candy bars usually have 8 times the sugar, way more carbs. The point is, Built Bars are good for you with 17 grams of protein for each bar. There's so many flavors to choose from. My favorite's cookies and cream, but they also have coconut almond, peanut butter brownie, raspberry, salted caramel, mint brownie, so much more. And they're always coming out with new limited time flavors. You could hear Rick getting excited. I'm going to try to have some Built Bars.
Sounds very awesome.
Agreed. Totally agree.
Low sugar, low carbs. That's good news, folks. That's good news. I try to keep myself in shape and everything. That's great stuff.
I agree. And I'm going to try, once they send it to me, I'm going to try to have them send it to you, especially after this little plug you just made
Coconut
for them.
almond for sure.
Coconut almond. You got it. Go to Built.
I play pickleball. I'll use them when I'm playing. I'm out in the pickleball, playing pickleball all day in the tournament and all. That'd be great.
Beautiful. I'll definitely get that going. Again, coconut almond for one Hall of Famer, Rick Barry. Go to built.com. Use promo code locked15. Again, built.com. The promo code is locked15 to get 15% off your order. One more time, go to built.com. Use a promo code locked15 for 15% off your order.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for
making. I want to get back to that again. Is that B-U? Spell that out. The word, is it built or build?
Built with a T. B-U-I-L-T.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You just got to make sure because, you don't want to give people so B-U-I-L-T.
No, they're gonna love that. No, built. It is B-U-I-L-T. Correct. Like you built something, not like you're building something.
You're
and
going
Rick,
to
I'm
build
sure
good eating. You're going to build. You're going to go this. If you do it properly, you will have built good eating habits.
And speaking of something that's been built, you built 5 tremendous sons, and you also have a daughter as well.
Oh, it's fun doing it too.
That's the best part. But your youngest, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Canyon Barry. What's he doing these days? Last time we talked, you mentioned he was trying to work on his 3-point shot, playing for the Iowa Wolves. They're the G League affiliate of the Minnesota Timberwolves. How's he doing there? Is he liking it? Any prospects for playing? What's the latest on him?
Well, it's the same old stuff. I mean, it's not like he gets included in things all the time, but it's the first time that he's ever really struggled with his 3-point shot. I mean, I watched very carefully. He's shooting it great, dead straight, just a little bit long. I said, son, just look at what Steph Curry's just done recently. I mean, Steph Curry is in the worst slump probably he's ever been in. Ever, right? I mean, so if it can happen to Steph Curry, it can happen to you. And you don't have the luxury of shooting 15 in a game, okay? I mean, you get in and you get the chance to shoot 1 or 2 and you sit in the bench and you come back in. That's not easy to do. And he's still, I know that, he's a 40% 3-point shooter, basically, most of his career as he's been in the NBA, in the G League and stuff, and, playing for USA Basketball 3x3. And I said, don't worry about it. And so, last game he played, there he had, played his minutes, but he only got 4 shots, 3-pointer, made 2 for 4. So that's 50%. I say, hey, cool. So you don't worry about it. And, if you got the technique and you're not doing anything wrong, which I said, I went over it and reviewed it. And I said, son, you're doing nothing wrong. Your form is perfect. Just keep shooting it. It'll happen. It'll start dropping. So that was good to see. So hopefully it'll come from there. But every time when he does get a chance to play and actually get included in the offense where he handles the ball and does all the things he can do. I remember one time in one of the seasons when he was there, he had 1 game of 15 shots and 1 game of 18 shots in the whole season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Averaged 25 points on those games. So if he's given the chance, I mean, he averaged last season in the shortened season, he averaged 13 points on 7 shots or 8 shots. That's not easy to do. And shot, high 40s, 40 from 2s, and 100 from the free throw line. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it just kills me. And everybody's, oh, well, it's his son. That's why. No, I know basketball. I know who can play and who can't play. And I will tell you one thing. I'm really happy for Jordan Poole because I want the Warriors to be successful. Jordan Poole was not very good when he first came into the league and got drafted.
No, he was not.
I mean, there is no way that you could think that this kid is going to become the player he's become for them with his showing early in his career. But to his credit, he worked at his game, accepted going down to the G League, and now he's come back to be an integral part. And I'm really proud of him coming in off the bench to get him ready for what Klay's doing. And comes in and gets, 32 points in the game and doing. Hey, if he can play anywhere near that in that role, that's a big thing for the Warriors for the future if Klay's playing at the level we hope him to be playing at. So kudos to you, Jordan Poole. I'm happy for you.
Wow, yeah, and we were criticizing Jordan Poole heavily. He still hasn't gotten the consistency down. His last game against the Pelicans last night,
not great. He is not Steph Curry. Let's just get that straight. I mean, he has a tendency to take shots a little bit too far, perhaps sometimes behind the 3-point line, and but he's still doing a heck of a job. So I'm proud of him.
Good. Yeah, there you go. And I hope to see Canyon at some point playing alongside Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns for the Timberwolves.
I'd like to see that happen too. Just to
me too. I mean, especially with
nothing else, one chance.
Especially with all these these players going down because of health and safety protocols, and we hope that kind of gets reduced soon. Let me point
to this, Steve. You'll appreciate this, having worked with you for so long.
Yeah.
Why don't teams approach their roster in this manner? You have your players who are your star players, the guys that can get it done, and you pay them the big bucks. And then you have the other players who are not there, but the next level below. Do you need anybody else at that level on the rest of your team? No. I mean, so they're going out and getting guys that think that they should be playing and getting 25 a game or whatever, blah, 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 who maybe aren't capable of doing it and have some major flaws in this game. Why would you not go out and get great role players? You don't have to pay them money. You can save that money for the other guys to go and use it to go and get somebody, get a trade or whatever it may be, and have the other guys with the attitude who are going to be thrilled to be there and still make millions of dollars, but not $8, $9, and $10 million when they have major flaws in their game. I mean, why is there any player who is a wing player on an NBA team who isn't shooting in the mid 30s? Why is he on your team? I mean, in today's game, if you can't shoot the three, you are a liability to your team.
Yeah.
As a wing player, as someone who's supposed to, you have to be able to shoot the three and do the other things. There are players out there, like my son, who's a 40% shooter, basically, who can play the game, get to the basket, plays unselfish, would thrive if he played in a system like the Warriors play because he knows the game. I mean, why would you not go get those players? A minimum contract you could have, and he'd be thrilled to be there and would be able to do the kind of things you would want those players to do because they don't get a chance to play. But you want someone, if somebody goes down or somebody's struggling, you can give this person a chance, knowing that he knows how to play the game, and you can put him in feeling comfortable that he's going to do the right things. I don't understand it.
No, I don't understand it either, Rick. But that's, we've been talking about the incompetency at the top levels of the personnel offices for years, right? And why so many people are in those positions making these asinine decisions. The Warriors are in a position right now. The one critique you and I have been saying repeatedly is that they lack size. They still don't have a natural center on the roster. We still don't know when James Wiseman's going to come back. And one player that recently has been made available because the Bucks released him, and I'm going to share my screen here real quick, Rick, if you can see this. I put a poll on the Locked On Warriors Twitter account in terms of whether or not the Warriors should sign Boogie Cousins. He is available. Again, the Bucks recently waived him. They need size. He provides that. They need easy scoring. He provides that. He knows the system. He would come in on the veteran minimum. 2/3 of the people replying to this poll said yes. Yeah, we want him. It would be nice. What are your thoughts? Is a Boogie Cousins someone that the Warriors should add to the roster? Or do you think just keep the status quo the way it is?
I would say take a shot with him.
Same.
I mean, he was taught how to play the center position by the best big man's coach, my teammate Clifford Ray. Clifford's the guy that really got him going when he coached at Sacramento, and he had Boogie there. I mean, this is a guy that, he can shoot the ball from, he can shoot the ball from outside. He's got a low post game as well. Yeah, I would say give him a shot and just, tell him what you expect from him. But I don't think it's a losing thing. Well, at that cost, why not?
I know, exactly. I don't get it either. They even have the space to bring him in. I hope it's something they consider because they need him. I really think the Warriors could use a center. Are you worried about Steph's shooting slump right now? The Warriors have lost 2 in a row.
No, here's the thing about Steph. I would say to Steph, he should have listened when we talked to him a few years ago about doing something with my son's scooter with the shooting sleeve and the technology that we had there. Because right now, if he had done that and he had this shooting sleeve, it was the most sophisticated teaching tool I've ever seen in my life. All the other stuff out there is a bunch of hogwash. I mean, it's just gimmicks. This is the greatest teaching tool ever for shooting the basketball. And if Steph had gotten involved with this, all he would have to have done is go in, have his sleeve on, which is programmed to his shot, exactly the way he shoots, and take some shots, and it would tell him after every shot what he's doing wrong based upon his shooting technique. This would be the greatest thing ever for him. And can you imagine? And why Under Armour wouldn't have done something with this? The Steph Curry shooting sleeve, you couldn't make them fast enough to be able to sell them for young kids to have a chance. And here's the truth. With the technology so sophisticated as it is, Steph could have his shooting form put in there. A kid could wear it. It'll tell him this, that, get your elbow. And a kid working on this could actually learn how to shoot the ball like Steph Curry with the proper technique. The by far greatest teaching tool ever, which could go into other sports, which could go into rehab. It's unfreaking. If I had the money, I would buy the technology and own it myself and take this out there. There's no doubt it's a no-brainer. And a Steph Curry shooting sleeve would be the biggest hit ever in the world of basketball for a teaching tool. And he could put it on and he would get, I told him the other time, this is when he had that. Remember he had that one slump a few years ago? And we had met with him after the championship. I said, Steph, trust you got to get this. My son was trying to get to show him, never could get a chance to show him. I said, Steph, here's the thing. When you had that slump, if you had had the sleeve, all you would have had to do is go put the sleeve on, go out and shoot, and the sleeve would have told you what you're doing incorrect with your shooting technique, if that's it. Now, it could just simply be something else, just like my son Canyon. He was just shooting it a little bit too hard because they were going straight and hitting the back rim. You see, great shooters, for you people listening, watch somebody shooting. If a shooter is missing short or long, that's fine. Mm-hmm. If a guy's missing left or right, he has flaws in his shooting technique. Great shooters don't miss left and right. They rarely miss left and right. It's short or long. And with the sleeve, it's going to tell him, especially if he's short, it will tell him if it's short. He's saying you're a little bit short, get it, and he'll get it up a little bit more. Anyway, I'm just on and on about. I wish I had the money to do it. I mean,
Rick, you're hyping this up so much. Can your son's scooter, does he own the IP to this?
No, that's the thing. He could get the IP, but it wouldn't cost a crazy amount. But this would be the most incredible thing. And I try to, for Steph, this could be Steph's legacy. It could be Steph's gift to the world of basketball and to all these kids who admire him and love him so much because they can relate to him because he's a normal type of person. I mean, 6'3" isn't that normal, but compared to everybody else, he's normal.
Yes.
And give this gift to the world of basketball, to all these kids. Do it. I mean, he's got enough money to do it himself. Screw it. You don't have to do it with Under Armour. Let them make all the damn money. Just come and buy it and do it yourself. There's no way you wouldn't make a freaking crazy amount of money doing this.
Well, the audience for Locked On Warriors is based in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, those venture capitalists. If one of you are listening, reach out. I'll get you connected with Rick Barry. You two can make a ton of money. I was about to say S-bomb load of money. And by the way,
he's not going to do it. If he doesn't want to do it, then we'll try to do it. Try to get Klay to do it. You got two of the greatest shooters ever in the history of the game. I mean, either one. And then, hey, Steph can do it, own it, and do something. And then you can have it do, hey, for an extra added on bonus, hey, you pay this much money, and you can have the thing programmed for Klay Thompson's shot.
Incredible. That is incredible. Well, speaking of sleeves, one of your sponsors is Go Sleeves. I'm going to share the screen with them. Tell us about that. You've been saying for a long time that Klay should be wearing Go Sleeves. This is one of the products you endorse.
I try to try to get him to get some just to put him on to use it when he's working out and playing and doing stuff. I think he would love them. They got kinesio tape inside. It's injury prevention. I wear them just to prevent and do stuff every time when I play pickleball. I love the product. They're well made. They're not super expensive at all. They last. I mean, I've had mine now for years, washing them, doing everything else with them. They're awesome. They're an absolutely awesome product. So check them out. I guess first time people get 25%. I was going to say go and put my code in, but I have a code when you go to GoSleeves.com, put RB24. But they're doing a special thing to try to get even more people involved. So if you got a chance to do it and get the 25% off, take that. And if you want to do it later on and get some stuff, then just put RB24 in there and you'll get at least a 20% discount. But check it out. I mean, it's a great product. I mean, first of all, I would never endorse anything if I didn't believe in it myself. And I wear them.
Right.
I wear them when I play pickleball. I wear them. I mean, and I love them. I was wearing it for my left knee where I have no cartilage and had, 4 knee operations on it. And so I had been a little sore. And so the guys down there, Darren and Roy, I met them actually at a celebration for Al Laddle's, a number of years ago. And they said, "Hey, you want to?" I said, "Yeah, I'll try." I said, and I don't really have an issue. It's not a problem. And he got sore. I was doing it too much. So I put the sleeve on, started doing that. Well, my God, it worked so good. It felt so great. I said, you know what? I'm going to wear it on my other knee. And I just feel good with it on. It's just a really nice feeling. It makes you feel secure. And it's got a lot of benefits. So go to the site, GoSleeves.com, and check it out and, make a decision yourself. But if you've got knee issues and you have calf stuff too, and they're coming out now with an elbow sleeve, which is good, or a tennis elbow or golf elbow or pickleball elbow, or badminton elbow, or what is it there they could also do? Paddle tennis elbow. But anyway, check it out.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain elbow. No, totally. I'm with you on that. If you get the joke.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
Anyways, and again, Rick, you have your own podcast network that is Warriors 24, the Warriors 24 podcast network. You have your own show on there, the Rick Barry Show. We recently had Skip Bayless on there, Chris Mullins, Sleepy Floyd. Definitely subscribe to that. Anything else you want to promote before we wrap things up?
Yeah, well, for people who are into the cannabinoid world, I'm a big believer. I use it every day. Medicilleaf, MEDICILEAF, MEDICILEAF.com. 24 is the code. Get a great discount on any of the products. They have all kinds of stuff. The salve is unbelievable. 5,500 milligrams of product in there. And it's not just CBD. See, it's not everybody hears CBD. There are 130 or more cannabinoids in the cannabis plant. Okay. And they're doing all kinds of research and trying to find out what some of these other ones can do. And this is going to be going on for years and years and years. You're just going to hear more things. You can see you're showing some of the stuff to me right now. Absolutely awesome. The salve is incredible. The roll-on's incredible. We're a sponsor for the Professional Pickleball Association. The guys there come over and they get themselves loaded up with stuff before they play. And I've seen firsthand almost miraculous things when people come and they use these things. So just, give it a try. Awesome product, high quality, and you get a nice discount if you go to Medicilleaf.com and put in the code 24. So give it a try instead of taking all that other stupid stuff to wreck your stomach and oh God, and you don't want to get into the other stuff, the opioids and all. I mean, just try this for pain. They have a product for sleep. One lady came over and she said, I'm trying to get them to do something with the sleep product to get it, put a little flavor and stuff in it. And the one lady said, well, I don't like the taste is, and everybody's taste is different. But she bought every bottle that we had at the booth at one of the tournaments. She said, I haven't slept like this in 6 years. This product is unbelievable. So give it a shot.
And there you are as one of their official athletes who's endorsing Medicilleaf. And for everyone watching and listening, definitely go check that out. And again, you can follow Rick on all social media platforms at Rick24Barry. Always a pleasure, sir. Great to see you. And I'm sure we'll be recording a show ourselves on your platform soon. Again, that's the Rick Barry Show. To subscribe there. For everyone else, thanks for making Locked On Warriors your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. I'm going to be hosting, if Klay plays Sunday, I'm going to host immediately afterward. And then Rick, I'm going to see you on the 21st. I'm coming to Chase Center, so I'm looking forward to seeing you there. We'll do some networking. Raymond Ritter has told me that once Klay starts playing, he will join us for the Rick Barry Show, which I'm really excited about. And then you can tell him directly about Go Sleeves. But you're going to Chase Center for Rick Welch. So when is do you know when your night is? They're doing the 75th anniversary thing there where they honor different players.
I haven't heard anything about any of that, but I'm happy to do that. For Rick, because I've known Rick, as I said, since he was a young kid working for the Seattle Supersonics and watched his illustrious career from start to finish, basically.
Wow.
I mean, I've known him for all those years. In fact, when he went to the NBA, I called him up about 3 months later, and I said, "How's it going?" And he said, "Rick," I said, "I thought it was going to be crazy that people be slamming doors in my face and everything." He said, "I've been welcomed with open arms because the NBA was so bad about marketing. Nobody went out and marketed." And so he was going out there and getting all kinds of stuff. And that's how they really got themselves going and got the marketing end of their business in high gear. You can have the greatest product in the world. If you don't market it properly, it may not be successful. I always tell people I have 2 words for marketing to tell you how great it can be. Pet rock. People made millions of dollars selling. Seriously. So, I mean, and because why? They did an amazing marketing campaign. So you have, and look what happened since they started the marketing. What happened to the NBA? It became a worldwide huge success because they started to market a product that's always been great. In 1975, our finals were on delayed television.
I know. That's ridiculous.
The finals of a major sport in this country were on delayed television. So they, like they say, the old Virginia Slims thing, right? They've come a long way, baby.
I love it, Rick. Well, we'll be recording a show soon. And again, Sunday night, if Klay plays, I'll be recording a podcast right after. And then Dieter and I will do a show on Monday. And Rick, you are always welcome on this show.
Happy birthday, son, my son Canyon. So you said that before, which is great. I put a great picture up on Instagram of him when he was.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so.
And you can see that by following Rick on all of his social media platforms at Rick24Berry. And you can follow me on Twitter at DocSurfRoadshow and this program on Twitter at Locked On Dubs. Rick, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for coming on. And until next time.
Do the Barry show next week before I head out.
Let's do it. I'm in. Sounds good. All right, we'll talk soon. Take care, everyone.
Later. Happy New Year.